Getting through university with funding as an immigrant. Smart ways to pay through your education without any financial pressure. This is the Widow's Mite, a graceful journey. My name is Rita Ubebo, ni Enajipo. You're welcome back, folks. So today we'll be talking about getting through school as an immigrant, a new immigrant, of course. University party. I'm going to give you 10 different ways that you could get funding. You could get assistance, financial assistance, while schooling in Canada. Now you can replace Canada with any other country. The only thing, like I say, is you must look for where those things are and take advantage of them. Firstly, apply for entrance scholarships early. Now, these are mostly 80% for people who are already residents here. So your child is a student here, secondary school student or high school, they can apply for scholarship early. That's entrance scholarship. What I mean by entrance, it means before you get the admission you're getting to that university or higher institution is coming with scholarship for those 4 to 5 years your child is in that school. And it is driven basically by their academic excellence. So how it works is this. Your child is in grade 11. On those days, career days means universities around that school, in that province or city, come into the high school campus, pitch their tents, and introduce their schools to people. For instance, you have Dalhousie University, St. Mary's, Mount St. Vincent's, Arcadia in Nova Scotia. They all come, up to 12, 14, 15 of them on the same day. Sometimes they break it into 2 days, so you don't have too much that the students can go around. So they have those days that they come. So it is already told to the student that on so and so day, universities are going to come into our campus and they would they will come into our premises and display what the courses they do, what those courses. It's not just about getting tuition, it's about getting admission. They'll tell you, okay, you want to read Bachelor of Management, this is kind of career you go into. So it's a career stroke academic day. Your child goes there with 2 things: themselves ready, looking clean, and they go with their last term's school performance, their scorecard for last term. So the universities usually will come maybe by April, but school ends by June. The last year of grade 11 is June. So they come in at April. If your child gets up to an aggregate of 80% or an average of 80% in all their courses or their subjects, they have immediate early admission to some universities. So like I said, it is academically driven. Now, what does it mean to have an early admission? It will entail your child getting admission into that school 1 year ahead of her peers. That's a good thing. So when she's in grade 12, she's just waiting to graduate. She's not fussy and writing any applications to schools. Secondly, it comes with scholarship, financial backup. So for instance, it means that while your child is in that university, they must maintain, they can't transfer. If you transfer to another university, you lose the scholarship. So you stay in that university, you maintain your grade at grade B. So you get an average of B in all your classes in university for those 4 to 5 years that your degree runs for. You can't afford to lose 1 year or repeat. You can't even afford to change courses. For instance, if you're reading, but it depends. If you're reading, you want to change courses within a faculty, that is permissible. But if you're changing your coursing, like you're reading commerce, you want to go and read biology, you can't go with the scholarship. So that's the way it works. Then this child gets this admission and is ready to go to school. So your child is not struggling in her 12th year, her grade 12, to go get admission to any school. And let me say this here, sometimes on that open career day or days that universities come to the high schools to display their ventures, you could take admission from 7 different schools because you got good grades. Then when you go back home, the school will start following up on you. Did you choose us? We know you had more schools. You now sit down. You can even go into on-campus school tours. the university knows they've given out maybe 20 early admissions to maybe 20 students. They start following up on those students to say, do you want to come on a campus tour? So that you see what you're getting. You're not just going to take a paper and say, oh, I'm going to St. Mary's, I'm going to Dow. But then you want to go into Dow campus, St. Mary's campus, or Mount St. Vincent campus to see things for yourself. Then you can now pick, okay, I pick this against that one. But the good thing about early admission is this. Your child is on grade 12, grade 11. She has one more year to go in secondary school, but she already had an ambition to the degree that she wants to study. Plus, she gets the entrance scholarship. Like I said, the entrance scholarship is tied to your staying in that school, staying in that degree, and maintaining a B average in all your classes. Now, there are other scholarships for these are for residents, but for international students, you may need to start looking on early enough before you land. So we have those international student awards. They are not scholarships, they are awards. They give you, it might not be like for the full term of your stay in that school, but they are soft, financial assistance you get before you land. So this, you start to check out early before you must apply before you land. So you apply from your local country after you've gotten the admission. Now, number 2 is apply for in-course or departmental scholarships. These ones, you already started. Once you are in, keep your grades up and apply for each term. They are not things that takes you to a whole year. It's per term. So what I did in my time, in my first year, in my master's degree in information, I asked by October when I landed. Something came up. I realized the tuition was not what I thought. I thought the tuition that I saw on my admission letter back home in Nigeria was for the full 24 months, but no, it was for 12 months. So I got that shock, financial shock, and I was like, I went to my department. I don't know, I'm going to do this. But they said, oh, which I know what, let's even start by showing you that these are options you can have. So there was this thing that was, I think my award was called the Stephanie Duns Award. That award came with $3,000. So she said, oh, you know what? First of all, it's for an international student, not for a local student. Secondly, the student must have displayed interest and assistance to, I was just coming to school, that was my first year, and then you write a little essay or something just to show that you're academic. I got $3,000 by the end of that term to add to my tuition. So those are options for international students. There's also check with your departments once you land. There are lots of awards. The third way to also get funding for new immigrants as university students, seek out community and faith-based scholarships. Everything is online. Ethnic organizations, churches, and community groups, they often, give out small awards. I remember after my school, I remember I helped to write the first Association of Nigerians in Nova Scotia Bursary Awards. That was supposed to be just $500, but I think I gave the parameters. I helped to do that first time. So that's for only international students, not for local students. And so that's an example. So what you do is the Nigerian Canadian scholarships, the African student bursaries, the church support. And on those days that universities come to the high schools to tell the students about their courses and the degrees that you can get and how you can work with those degrees, they also come with their financial departments come in and say, oh, we have this African bursary, we have this Asian bursary, we have this. So you already have an idea of these things, even in your high school. So when you come into school, you are already in school, you go consider those scholarships. They are open. Some of them, you need to even just write your family's financial situation. It comes to that. And of course, they are not always much, but they happen term by term. Number 4, you have the consider work study programs. So here, these are part-time jobs on campus, most of them, and they are tied to financial needs. So you can say, I need this job because I'm a student, this is what I'm doing, that is what my parents are doing, that and that, and then You just justify. Normally a one-pager justifies your financial situation so that you get the job. So that way you have flexible hours to work. They know you're a student. You have tax-free income, and of course the experience for your resume in the future. Yeah. Number 5, research external scholarships and bursaries. Again, these are online. There are websites like Yoni. There's the Scholarship of Canada. Yeah, there's also the West website, or your province's student aid sites. Yeah, so every province has their student aids for students who need financial support. You just go complete the forms there. You need an ID. You need to prove that you're actively enrolled in school full-time. Some of them do both full-time and part-time, but most of them are for full-time. So many are open to international students or people with permanent residence. Then there's also number 6, become a residence assistant. That's a very good one now, or a peer mentor. A resident assistant is a student who offers to volunteer to the school to be a guide to other students. So likelihood you must be in a resident, like in the halls. You're not going to be there, but you want to offer to this is for no income. It's not an income, but you're offering to volunteer. Once you have done that, they will check through whatever you need to check, and then it's often you get free housing. So in that resident that you want to be a resident assistant, you have a room there, and you also have free meals. That takes care of your food, your transport, your accommodation, all in one. And it's a great leadership experience, and it also builds community. You know what I said one of my early videos about working in Canada? When you land, everything counts. Your volunteering, your paid roles, like this one, I'm just saying the resident assistant. Yeah, that's a way. So number 7, speak to the financial aid office. That I did a couple of times when I was in school. So don't assume you can't qualify. No, don't ask. Like I always say, just ask. It's just to ask, folks. Asking will not kill. And of course, they can direct you. If they don't have now or anyone that's open, they can directly to you to specific school funds or appeal options. Again, for me, I went to FGS, that's Faculty of Graduate Studies. And I told them, look, I'm a mom with 3 children. I need some financial help. They said, okay. They checked through my numbers, what you do, how much you pay in your resident, your home, what you're schooling full-time, you're international, you have to, that automatically gives it. So I got $500 at some point. I got another. So I just kept getting those little checks. So I asked, you guys, just ask. Yeah, so number 7, okay, that should be number 8 now. Look for paid co-ops, or what they call internships. Some programs offer paid work as part of your term work. Then plan your courses accordingly. So for instance, in my class, in one of my terms, I had to work 90 hours at some point it's an internship. Others, mine wasn't paid, but in some other departments, you work 3 months, 2 months as part of your internship, as part of your degree. So those are ways of getting money too. And again, it's also a good way of getting valuable Canadian experience and income. And sometimes that experience is technical. If you're doing a technical degree, for instance, maybe an engineering, and you have to work in an auto shop or something, it means it's hands-on. So it's also not just an experience, it's part of your classwork, and it gives you technical experience for your future role. Number 9, volunteer, strategically. Volunteering can lead to references. Now, this may not be financial gain. It can lead to job offers or scholarship nominations. So, for instance, volunteer for the Canada Cancer Society, and you automatically they tell you, oh, next year we have this role, this front desk role. Do you want to do this? Because they already know you. It's having your one foot in, and then you have Sometimes even when you graduate, you put it in your resume and you see a professional role there, and they're like, oh, she worked with us at this time, she volunteered. Not even work, volunteer. It means you gave your time without being paid. That is very valuable in this part of the world. And so when also they can nominate you when they have funding from their partners. Now, number 10, that's my favorite. Stay prayerful and network. Yes, that's your key. You know, the way we have the song, prayer is the key, prayer is the key. Yes, that is the main thing. So don't underestimate divine help and human connection. Some fundings come through relationships and unexpected favor. In my time, there was a time I couldn't pay one of our rent, and I don't know how my church found out. They called me, Sivita. I think I told somebody, and then so they told me, what's my rent? They called it. Can they call my landlord? I was like, yeah. They did. You know what happened? They paid that month's rent. So I didn't even know. I reached out to my landlord to say, look, can I pay twice? Because I can earn now and earn now. They were like, oh, Rita, your rent has been paid. And they gave another month extra, but they didn't let the June and July. They told my landlord not to tell me about July. So in case I can't pay, they will now roll that, bring me the rent check. And so folks, down the line, maybe a year after or months after, I had another issue where I couldn't pay my rent, and I went to the lady downstairs in the office and said, look, I'm sorry. She said, oh, Rita, your rent has been paid. I'm like, yeah. So, like I said, there's help everywhere. You don't get help if you don't ask. I ask, I get help, and I like to share that I got help so that others may know that you are not alone in that journey. It's just a season. You see, I was talking to somebody yesterday. I said, look, where did the snow go? Everywhere is clean, clear. The grasses are growing. Flowers are blooming. Sunshine, even though, yeah, you can see I got some sunburns all over. Yeah, but it's a season. So don't let it get to you. It will pass, but you need to look hard, check, ask questions. So again, folks, this is the Widow's Mite, a graceful journey. Please feel free to share my videos, my content to people who you know would need help. And like I say, it's a calling, it's a command to be one another's keeper. And I'm keeping my part of it. So if you find something useful in all this content that I'm creating, please feel free to share to others so you can also be a help to somebody else. Let's not let people just struggle in life when there's help just very close by. Thank you so much for watching. I'm coming out again with another series of videos, real videos that will resonate to your day-to-day living, especially as new immigrants. And of course, again, this is the Widow's Mite, a graceful journey. My name is Rita Ubebo ni Enajepo. Thank you for having me in your space. God bless.